In 20 years, the NBA's second overall pick has destroyed more careers than it's created. Tonight, we're exposing the most haunted draft spot in sports history, where generational talents go to die, where teams lose their futures, and where one player literally begged franchises not to draft him, and they still did. From a Duke champion who lost everything in one motorcycle crash, to a 7-footer who admitted he'd ruin any team that traded for him, to the player who chose guns over greatness. 15 picks, billions in wasted salary, countless shattered dreams. Which disaster was the worst? Stay until the end, because the most tragic story isn't who you think it is. Let's dive into basketball's graveyard. 1. Stro Swift, 2000, the athletic freak who couldn't play basketball. Picture this. A 6'9" human highlight reel who can dunk from the free throw line and block shots into the upper deck. Now imagine he has zero basketball IQ. That's Stro Swift, the player who turned the Grizzlies' future into a circus act. Memphis thought they were getting the next Kevin Garnett. Instead, they got a player who cared more about SportsCenter highlights than winning games. Swift spent 6 years chasing dunks instead of learning plays. When his athletic prime faded, he had nothing left. No post moves, no court vision, no value. He bounced through 5 teams before washing out completely. But his story gets darker. Legal troubles followed him long after basketball gave up on him. The Grizzlies' mistake? Drafting potential over production. But if you think Swift was bad, wait until you meet the Duke star who lost $100 million in one terrible decision. 2. Jay Williams, 2002, $100 million lost in one motorcycle crash. Jay Williams had everything mapped out. Duke championship, second overall pick, a $25 million contract with Chicago. The future was golden. Then came June 19, 2003. One motorcycle ride, no helmet, no team permission, one crash that shattered his knee, severed nerves, and ended everything. Williams played exactly 75 NBA games. That's it. The Bulls paid him millions just to recover, not to play again. Here's the crushing part. Jay wasn't beaten by bigger, stronger players. He wasn't exposed as a bust. His career died because of one moment of recklessness. One decision, one crash, one future erased. But even Jay's tragedy pales compared to the next disaster. A player drafted ahead of 3 Hall of Famers. 3. Darko Milicic, 2003, the biggest draft mistake in NBA history. Detroit had a choice that would haunt them forever. Carmelo Anthony, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, or Darko Milicic. They chose the 7-foot mystery from Serbia. While Melo, Wade, and Bosh rewrote NBA history, Darko rode the bench, averaged 1.6 points as a rookie, and watched his confidence crumble. But here's when it gets truly bizarre. Years later, when teams tried to trade for him, Darko warned them off. "Don't trade for me," he told one GM. "I'll ruin your team chemistry." They traded for him anyway. He played 10 seasons and remained completely irrelevant. Detroit could have had 3 Hall of Famers. Instead, they got a player who became his own biggest critic. The lesson? Sometimes players know their limitations better than scouts do. 4. Emeka Okafor, 2004. When your body betrays you. Emeka Okafor did everything right. Rookie of the Year, 6 years, $72 million extension, double-doubles every night. Then, his spine said no. A herniated disc took him off the court in 2013, not for weeks, for 4 entire years. When he finally returned, the league had evolved past him. He played 26 games and disappeared forever. Okafor's tragedy wasn't attitude or effort. His body simply quit on him at 30. Sometimes the cruelest busts aren't about character flaws. They're about biology. 5. Marvin Williams, 2005, 15 years of mediocrity. Here's the most confusing pick on this list. Marvin Williams played 15 seasons, stayed out of trouble, and helped teams win. So why is he here? Because he was drafted ahead of Chris Paul and Deron Williams. Because in 15 years, he never made an all-star team. Because averaging 10 points per game for a number 2 pick feels like fraud. Williams wasn't terrible, he was worse. He was forgettable. When you're picked second overall, mediocrity is its own kind of failure. 6. Michael Beasley, 2008. More high than highlights. Michael Beasley could score 30 points in his sleep. Smooth mid-range, explosive first step, NBA-ready body. His biggest enemy? Himself. Fined as a rookie for marijuana possession. Rehab in year 2. multiple arrests, a fire alarm triggered by weed smoke in his hotel room. Beasley had superstar talent with street ball discipline. He dominated pickup games but never dominated when it mattered. Teams kept giving him chances. 10 different franchises tried to fix him. None succeeded. Sometimes raw talent isn't enough when you can't get out of your own way. 7. Hasheem Thabeet, 2009. 7 foot 3 inches of wasted potential. At 7 foot 3 inches, Hasheem Thabeet looked like a cheat code. In college, he swatted everything. In the NBA, he was the one getting swatted off the court. Memphis drafted him ahead of James Harden and Stephen Curry. Think about that for a second. Thabeet averaged more fouls than points. He couldn't score, couldn't defend, couldn't stay on the floor. The Grizzlies gave up so fast they traded him after 1.5 seasons. When your height is your only NBA skill, you're doomed. 8. Evan Turner, 2010. Jack of all trades, master of none. Evan Turner was supposed to be the complete package. At Ohio State, he could pass, rebound, score, and lead. In the NBA, versatility without elite skills became a curse. Turner wasn't fast enough to break defenders, strong enough to bully them, or accurate enough to stretch the floor. Then Portland gave him $70 million for a career 9-point scorer. Turner wasn't terrible. He just wasn't built for the expectations that come with pick number 2. 9. Derek Williams, 2011. College star, NBA ghost. At Arizona, Derek Williams shot 56% from 3 and looked unstoppable. The moment he touched an NBA court, everything vanished. His shot disappeared. His confidence crumbled. He became the dreaded tweener. Too soft for power forward, too slow for small forward. Minnesota gave up after 3 years. 5 other teams took chances. The Magic never returned. He had all the tools, but never found the toolbox. 10. Michael KiddGilchrist, 2012. Elite defense, broken offense. Before the draft, scouts said, if he fixes that jump shot, he's a star. Spoiler alert, he never fixed it. MKG could defend anyone, but teams backed off him by 15 feet. His shooting form looked like he was throwing a medicine ball. Shoulder injuries and confidence issues finished the job. By 26, he was out of the league. You can't build around a wing who makes defenders' jobs easier. 11. Victor Oladipo, 2013. One perfect year, then broken. For one magical year, Victor Oladipo was everything. All-star, most improved player, Indiana's franchise cornerstone. Then his body betrayed him. Quad tendon rupture, knee surgeries, setback after setback. He kept fighting back, but never as the same player. Teams wanted 2018 Oladipo. They got a shadow. His peak was brilliant. It lasted 1 season. 12. Jabari Parker, 2014. 2 ACLs, career over. Jabari Parker was supposed to be the next Carmelo Anthony. At Duke, he had everything: footwork, scoring instincts, NBA body. Milwaukee drafted him to pair with a young Greek player named Giannis. Then Parker's left knee exploded twice. Same ACL, same night. He fought back, posted a 20-point season, looked like a future all-star for 5 minutes. But he never moved the same, never defended, never lasted. 5 teams in 4 years. Cut, traded, forgotten. Parker didn't bust. His body betrayed him. That's the cruelest fall of all. 13. Marvin Bagley III, 2018. Injuries and Luka Doncic regret. Sacramento had a choice: Marvin Bagley III or Luka Doncic. They chose Bagley. The basketball gods laughed. Since his rookie year, Bagley hasn't played more than 50 games in a season. Meanwhile, Luka's rewriting record books. Bagley bounced from Sacramento to Detroit to Memphis as a rotation afterthought. Every time Luka drops a triple-double, Sacramento dies a little more inside. 14. Ja Morant, 2019. Star power meets self-destruction. Ja Morant was built for greatness. Explosive, fearless, appointment television. Rookie of the Year, All-NBA, Memphis' savior. Then came the Instagram Lives. Flashing guns twice, league suspensions. The NBA wanted to market him as the face of the future. Instead, Ja became the poster child for wasted potential. Talent without discipline is just chaos with a jump shot. 15. James Wiseman, 2020. Drafted on hype, destroyed by reality. James Wiseman played 3 college games. 3. Golden State still drafted him 2nd overall, believing they could mold him into a modern big. What they got was confusion incarnate. Wiseman missed rotations, couldn't anchor defense, and looked lost in Steve Kerr's system. Torn meniscus, G League assignments, more injuries. Golden State gave up. Detroit tried. After an Achilles tear, they waived him too. He was drafted on pure potential and destroyed by NBA reality. So, is the 2nd overall pick actually cursed? Look at the evidence. 15 picks, maybe 3 successes. The rest cautionary tales of wasted talent, broken bodies, and shattered dreams. Franchises bet their futures on these players and got nothing but regret. Here's the most haunting part. We told you about a player who begged teams not to draft him. That was Darko, warning GMs he'd ruin their chemistry. Another was out of the league before 25. That was MKG, whose broken jump shot killed his career. The one who looked like a generational scorer, Jabari Parker, ended by 2 ACL tears. This isn't just bad luck. When this many careers crash and burn in the same spot, something deeper is wrong. If you had the number 2 pick right now, what would you do? Trade down? Gamble big? Or pray you don't end up on this list? Drop your answer below and type draft trap if you made it this far, because this draft spot isn't just unlucky, it might actually be haunted.